Oh no! Hey, Jimmy James Garage. Jimmy here, out here in the shop today, trying to get Bluey going. You recognize Bluey, don't you? So we're gonna clean it up. We're gonna get ready for car show season. You know, that kind of stuff. I got my Hot Oz nightshirt on. I got my hat on. I'm ready to clean it up, and get this ring ready for car show. And that's why you saw me like this. It never fails. Never ever fails. So let me show you what we're up against here. That's what we're up against. Coolant. Freaking coolant. And those two bolts are loose back there. So let me flip this around. Let's see. So instead of just tightening them up, and they probably would work that way, if I just tighten them up. But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the intake on it, put new gaskets on it. I'm not really sure what's in this engine. I have no, I didn't build it. So, and the gentleman that we got the car from, he told us originally it's a 383 and had a big roller cam and things like that. We can tell that. It still has a lot of compression. We can see it has the aluminum heads on it from Edelbrock. Hold on a second. They're the Performer RPM heads. Now, whether or not they've been ported or not, different value, we don't know. Don't know. We just know that this thing's a screamer. This car runs good. This car runs as good as any 383 stroker, small block around. It's a high 11-second car. It gets it. But today I'm going to pull the intake. So follow me along here as we do some intake pulling. Golly, it's not what I want to do today. But wait till the end of this video because I have a question for you about this. I always have a question for you at the end. I mean, I did do a video where I didn't have a question. I said like I did, but I always have a question at the end. So stick around, wait for that question, and let's get started. Okay, so kind of what you want to do here is, we're back from warp speed. We'll be going back and forth to warp speed. I don't want to bore you with me working, but hey, get one of these. Little marker. You can also do whiteout. Whiteout's hard to come by anymore with computers and all that. Whiteout works good too because you can kind of peel it off, but this works good. You got to work at it, getting it off later, but what you're going to do is, get one of these. Let's start with this first. Take a picture. Picture all around it. You'll be surprised when you get to the end and you're like, where did that washer go? Things like that. So make sure you take a picture of it if you're not doing this all the time. I have honestly probably done a couple hundred intakes, and that may be a low number. In fact, when this thing was having a little leak, my dad says, you doing an intake? That's weird. You've never done that before. I think I did 3 of them in one day. Anyways, that's for a whole nother story. But mark all your stuff as you take it off so it comes back together. And I'm going to show you the one real spot you want to mark. The spot you really want to mark is the distributor. So you mark where the rotor goes, and then you line up, and I took a picture actually where the vacuum advance goes and how it lines up exactly. I actually took a little straight edge and it lines up just exactly with the PCV valve. So the reason you do that, let me turn this back around here. And so the reason you do that is because when you get this thing back together, when you drop it back in, it'll line up with the oil pump. Timing will be almost, I'm not going to say perfect, but within a couple of degrees. I do this a lot, so I just hardly ever miss. When you drop it back in, you line those things up, fire it up, it's within a couple of degrees. Makes it super simple. You're going to save yourself a ton of time doing it this way. And just take your time. When you're pulling these apart, you're actually diagnosing at the same time. So you want to go slow. You want to use hand tools. Forget all the air wrenches and air ratchets and all that. We're not trying to make money here. What we're doing here is we're working on our freaking hot rod. So you're going to use your hand wrenches and you're going to look at each thing, make sure everything comes apart right, and make sure you don't have any cracks. Like when we get this manifold off, because that's the next step, I'm pulling these bolts out for the manifold. Now if it comes, I'm going to see why it's leaking. Was it just an old gasket? That's my guess. Does it have a crack? Maybe. Who knows where this is going to lead us to? So again, your diagnosis as you go. So just take your time, go nice and easy. You're not on the side of the road, and have fun at it. We're going to go fast forward again. Well, intake's off. Want to see? We had some issues. They're minimal issues, but we have issues. And it's a good thing. And I know now why this thing runs like a scalded freaking dog. Well, let me show you. So the reason it runs so good is it's got some really nice port jobs on these heads. So somebody ported the wee out of it. But look at that one's been sucking a little oil because that gasket's been failing. So that's probably a newer thing because it never really did it before. But these are all looking good. So that's what it was. We had a little gasket failure. You can see where it's kind of pulled over here. See, over the time, it just kind of kept pulling. And now it's pulling a little bit of black in there. So we'll clean that up. But, I mean, these ports, somebody did a whiz-bang job on them. We got some corrosion in here. But that's why the water was leaking. It was just coming by there. Yeah, just, you know, just time. But, wow. I don't know if I can get all the way in there, but those things are sweet. And it does not have a roller cam. I don't believe that is not a roller cam. Thought it had a roller. That's what they said. So, but you can clearly see that those are not roller lifters. Wow, this thing really gets it. I'll tell you, for a whatever it is, supposedly a 383, but you know they finished a lot of things like this. Is all been painted and coated, and just a great job. Absolutely phenomenal job. And let's look at the intake over here. As we look at the intake, yeah, you can see where it was kind of, would have been on, yeah, this side. See, it's kind of pulling a little bit. So yeah, that needs to be fixed. We'll get that fixed, but does not look like they match the intake though. Yeah, no, I don't think they did much to it. It is smooth in there, though. I don't see any die grinder marks. So I'm guessing they just put that 7101 on there. You know, this Edelbrock intake. It's in great shape. There's nothing wrong with it. No, nothing wrong with it at all. Let me flip you around here. All right, so that's where we are with this, with Bluey. So we're at the end of this video now, because I have some decisions to make, and that's why I was going to lean on you guys a little bit. And I'm not saying I'm going to do what you say, but should we keep the Performer RPM Edelbrock? So this is the Performer RPM. It's not a, you can see it right here. It is not an air gap. Should we go the air gap? Or should we just cut loose and go to a single plane, like a Victor Jr. or something of that sort? You know, I've been on the internet really studying what they, performance-wise, this thing will scream. It'll go $7,000, no problem. It does lay down. Doesn't have a lot of mile an hour, the car, but it is a freaking hog out of the hole. This thing's fun to drive. It's really fun to drive. It has a lot down low. Not that it lays over on top. It'll still run. It just doesn't seem to pull the mile an hour. But yeah, so that's the question. That's one question. The other question is, should we paint it all black? Leave it aluminum colored? You know, what kind of details should we do to this thing while we got it apart? I am going to put a new alternator bracket on there, and I'm going to take off the electric water pump. I'm going to go to a mechanical manual water pump, and I'm going to clean it all up there, keep some of the wires out, and just make it more simple. The brackets that were made for this are not real good, you know. And I was considering going to that steel blue, maybe leaving the block black, polishing the heads, the front part of the Edelbrock heads, painting intake and valve covers that titanium blue, which is, hold on, wait right there. I'll be right back. So the titanium blue is this bad boy right here. Oh, where did I go? That's titanium blue. So that may be a color we go with. It's a GTO color, but it would look real silvery blue underneath there with the blue car. And then with the aluminum and the chrome, it would turn out pretty well. So that's kind of the thought, you know. Let me know in the comments kind of what you guys are thinking. You know, the motor's black, the block is, the heads are aluminum. I have those black valve covers. Let's take a look over here. So it has these black valve covers. Let me flip you around. Those scripted black ones are pretty cool looking, but I could definitely paint them up and then leave the aluminum in that titanium silver. We're going to get rid of the electric water pump. And as you see, this is pretty funky. This alternator bracket was on it when we got the car years and years and years ago. I just never fixed it. But it's not right. It needs to be done right. So there's some of the ideas. And let me take you around over here. Oh, I got a mess. I got to clean that up. The other option is, you know, I could go like this. Watch this here. So I do have those chrome valve covers that say Chevrolet. I have those closed Edelbrocks. I'd have to build some kind of a breather inside the intake, which I've done before. So those are two other options. I also have a pair of stock ones back here, stock valve covers. So yeah, those are all options. So again, we're at the end. Go ahead, tell me what you think. Should we do the air gap? I can cut the center plenum out of this one. I can definitely port match it. I can definitely clean it up, port it a little bit, do some cleanup to it. I can definitely do those things because it runs so good. Or do I go to the single plane Victor Jr., which I'm a little scared of, to be honest with you, because I don't want to kill a lot of the bottom end. This thing's got tons and tons of bottom end. 1,660 foot times out of a 3,200 pound car, street tires. So it definitely gets moving. All right, right down here. I'll see you at the next one. Go there. See ya.